Look closely at this eye. Is it brown? Is it green? Or is it gold? This is a biological illusion. In the genetic lottery of the human race, this is the rarest ticket you can pull. Only 5% of the entire world population carries this trait. It is known as Hazel. But there is a glitch in the system. There is one specific corner of Earth where this rarity isn't rare at all. In fact, it is taking over. Deep in the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain and Portugal, studies have found something impossible. Over 55% of the population here carries this mutation. That is 10 times the global average. Why? How did a tiny peninsula become the sanctuary for the world's most elusive eye color? The answer isn't just about genetics. It hides a violent history of vanished tribes, brutal invasions, and a DNA secret that has survived for 12,000 years. Today, we decode the Iberian Eye Paradox. I'm Thomas, and this is Lost Origins. The Chameleon Code. To understand why this mutation took over Iberia, first we have to understand what a hazel eye actually is, because scientifically speaking, it shouldn't really exist. In the world of genetics, nature usually prefers binary choices. You have the OCA2 and HERC2 genes on chromosome 15. Think of them like a light switch for melanin. If the switch is on, your iris is flooded with melanin, absorbing light and creating a deep brown color. This is the original human eye color, dating back hundreds of thousands of years. If the switch is off, there is almost no pigment. Light enters, scatters, and reflects back as blue. It's the same physics, Rayleigh scattering, that makes the sky look blue. But hazel is what happens when the switch gets stuck in the middle. It is a dimmer switch set to 50%. It relies on a chaotic balance. You have the Rayleigh scattering creating blue hues colliding with a moderate amount of melanin that creates brown and gold. The result is a chameleon effect. This is why people with hazel eyes often claim their eyes change color. It's not magic, it's physics. When you are angry or excited, your pupil dilates, compressing the iris and revealing more pigment, making them look greener or browner. When you change your shirt or the sunlight hits at a different angle, the scattering shifts, turning them gold. This complexity drives modern geneticists crazy. Today, we can predict if a baby will have blue or brown eyes with over 90% accuracy just by looking at their DNA. It's a simple code. But hazel? It remains a ghost in the machine. Because it involves multiple genes interacting in ways we still don't fully understand, our prediction accuracy for hazel drops to between 50 and 80%. It is elusive. It is mysterious. So how did this unpredictable accident become the dominant feature of the Spanish people? To find out, we have to look away from the microscope and look at the map, because 8,000 years ago, Spain became the stage for a massive genetic experiment. The ancient collision. Why is this mutation so concentrated in Spain and Portugal? Why not Germany? Why not Egypt? The answer lies in the geography of the peninsula itself. Look at it. Separated from France by the Pyrenees Mountains and surrounded by the ocean, Iberia is Europe's genetic cul-de-sac. It is a trap. And 8,000 years ago, two distinct ghosts of human history walked into this trap, and they never left. First, there were the Western hunter-gatherers. These were the original inhabitants of Europe. Genetic evidence paints a striking picture of them. They likely had darker skin, adapted to the ancient forests, but carried a piercing mutation: blue eyes. They had lived there for thousands of years, surviving the Ice Age. Then, around 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, a new wave arrived: the early European farmers. They migrated from Anatolia, modern-day Turkey. They brought agriculture, they brought lighter skin tones, but they carried the ancient dominant gene for brown eyes. In most of northern Europe, the blue-eyed genetics remained dominant. In Africa and the Near East, brown eyes reigned supreme. But in Iberia, these two populations didn't just meet, they merged completely. It was a massive biological experiment. The dominant brown clashed with the recessive blue, and nature found a compromise. It created the intermediate. It created Hazel. And there was one more factor, the sun. Spain sits in a geographical Goldilocks zone. It isn't dark enough to demand the heavy melanin protection of sub-Saharan Africa, but it isn't dark enough to require the low pigment sensitivity of Scandinavia. Hazel eyes, with their moderate melanin, were the perfect evolutionary shield for this specific latitude. But this peaceful mixing of farmers and hunters was just the beginning, because a storm was gathering in the east, a storm that would nearly wipe out the male population of Spain forever. The Bronze Age replacement. For thousands of years, the genetic mix in Iberia was a slow, peaceful simmer. But around 4,500 years ago, during the Bronze Age, the pot boiled over. A new group appeared on the horizon. They came from the vast Pontic-Caspian steppes, modern-day Russia and Ukraine. These were the Yamnaya. They were horse riders, metalworkers, and warriors. And what they did to the genetic map of Spain wasn't just a migration. It looks, to many scientists, like an eradication. When geneticists analyzed ancient skeletons from this period, they found a statistic so shocking it is hard to believe. Within a few hundred years of the steppe people arriving, nearly 100% of the local male lineages vanished. The local men simply disappeared from the gene pool. They were completely replaced by the invaders carrying the R1b genetic marker. Was it a plague? Was it a war? Or was it a social caste system where only the newcomers were allowed to reproduce? The stones don't speak, but the DNA screams of a violent upheaval. But here is the key to our mystery. The local women survived. The maternal DNA lines remained largely intact. So, you had a new population of steppe men who likely carried genes for lighter skin and hair, having children with the local Iberian women who carried that ancient mix of blue and brown eye genetics. This aggressive fusion didn't destroy the Hazel trait. It supercharged it. It locked the population into a permanent state of genetic diversity. The R1b marker is still the most common in Spanish men today, a living scar from a conquest that happened 4,000 years ago. But history wasn't done with Spain yet. The melting pot was about to get even more crowded. The melting pot of history. History didn't stop with the steppe warriors. In fact, for the next 4,000 years, Iberia became the world's most chaotic waiting room. From the north came the Celts and later the Visigoths, tribes carrying the genetics of Central and Northern Europe. They reinforced the light eye genes in the population. But from the east and south came a very different force. First, the Romans, bringing ancestry from Italy, Greece, and the Levant. And then, most significantly, the Moors. For nearly 700 years during the Al-Andalus period, North African DNA flowed across the Strait of Gibraltar. This is the crucial piece of the puzzle. In Scandinavia, the gene pool isolated itself, allowing blue eyes to become dominant. In Africa, brown eyes reigned supreme. But in Spain, it was a constant tug of war. Every time the population started to drift towards light, a wave from the south pulled it back towards dark. Every time it drifted towards dark, a wave from the north pulled it back. Hazel eyes are the physical scar of this tug of war. They are the genetic equilibrium. They represent a population that never settled, a biology that is permanently balanced on the knife edge between two continents. So we know the history, we know the physics, but there is one final twist that keeps scientists awake at night. Even with all this history, we still can't predict it. The unpredictable mystery. Here is the most frustrating part for modern science. Despite mapping the entire human genome, Hazel eyes remain a ghost in the machine. Today, forensic scientists can look at a DNA sample from a crime scene and predict with over 95% accuracy if the suspect has blue or brown eyes. The genetic markers for these binary colors are clear. It is a simple code. But Hazel, the code breaks down. Our best algorithms can only predict intermediate eye colors with an accuracy of 50 to 80%. In the world of science, that is barely better than a coin toss. Why? Because Hazel isn't just one gene, it is polygenic. It is the result of dozens of different genes interacting, suppressing, and amplifying each other. It is a biological chaos that we still don't fully understand. It is perhaps fitting, a trait that ancient cultures associated with magic and mysticism remains, even in the 21st century, scientifically elusive. The legacy in the mirror. So the reason 55% of the Iberian population carries this rare mutation isn't just random chance. It is the result of thousands of years of survival. When you look into a pair of hazel eyes, you aren't just looking at a color. You are seeing the ghost of a Western hunter-gatherer. You are seeing the resilience of an Anatolian farmer. You are seeing the legacy of a steppe warrior. They are the living map of human history, painted on the canvas of the iris. A reminder that we are all, in the end, a mixture of those who came before us. Do you have hazel eyes, or have you noticed your eyes changing color with your mood? Tell us your story in the comments below. I'm Thomas, and this is Lost Origins.